This story was sent to me by Darian McNeil, and it is coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. And it's a very sad story, but at the same time, I have to give kudos to this young lady for trying her best to do what she had to do. So this young lady's name is Talayla, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly or not, Stevenson. And she was 19 years old, and all she wanted to do was protect her sister from these bullies, I guess, that were messing with her. But in the midst of her protecting her sister from these bullies, she ended up being stabbed to death by one of them. Now, before I go any further into the story, y'all remember the story that I just talked about with the David Bell situation and how that young girl, after she was pushed by him and she started to try to, run back up on him to try to hit him. And I said in that video, you never know what these kids nowadays are carrying, because a lot of them do not fight fair. I will not be surprised if this young lady was getting the best of the bully and the bully's last resort was to stab her to death. And I said, you never know that these kids might be carrying nowadays, because some of these kids are just off their rocker. Some don't want to admit it. I'll say it. And get this. The person that killed her was only 14. Yes, this was a minor that killed this young lady. She was only 19. Her in the picture was only 19. The person that killed her is 14. They are most likely going to keep this person in jail until they are of legal age, and then probably sentence them and give them a very harsh sentence. Now I'm going to go ahead and read this article. It says a Georgia woman says her 19-year-old daughter was stabbed to death while protecting her younger sister from bullies. News outlets report 14-year-old Jashante Marshall has been charged with felony murder in the Sunday death of Talayla Stevenson. Oh, felony murder. Oh, yeah, she's going to go to jail for a while. Stevenson's mother, Alphonsa Simmons, says she witnessed the attack near their Atlanta area home. She says her 14-year-old daughter was being bullied and Stevenson intervened, ordering the three bullies to stop. Now, see, that is some bitch shit. They were practically going, what it sounds like to me, was going to jump her sister. 3 against 1, that's not a fair fight. But then again, in this establishment, in this day and age, what is the definition of fair? It says police say Marshall stabbed 2 people and fled after a fight broke out. An 18-year-old man was treated for a stab wound. So apparently, Talayla and this other man were trying to break up the fight or try to stop the fight from happening. And he ended up getting stabbed in the arm, and she ended up getting stabbed to death. It says Simmons says Stevenson recently gave birth to a baby girl and was accepted into an Atlanta Technical College nursing program. So now this girl, her daughter, will never grow up to know what her mother was like. Well, one lasting memory that she can have on the account of her aunt and her grandmother is that she died saving her aunt. So in a way, you can say she died being a protector. And the fact that she did this for her sister lets you know that she would have been a good mother, because that shows that she was willing to die protecting her own daughter. But it's unfortunate. As a matter of fact, let me pull this image up right quick. There's a picture of her newborn daughter right here. I was wondering who this baby was in the picture and why it came up when I typed her name in. Okay, let me continue with this story. It says Marshall is at Fulton County Juvenile Detention Center. It's unclear she has a lawyer. Well, it doesn't matter if she has a lawyer or not. Send that little bitch up the river. Point blank, period. I mean, she lost her life senselessly, all because she was trying to protect her sister from the likes of her. I offer my condolences to, her family, her mother, her sister, and her daughter. Like, can you imagine, like, you just became a new mother only to lose your life senselessly because you were trying to protect your sister from these 3. I can't even call them girls at this point. At this point, that 14-year-old girl who did this to her, this Jashante Marshall is nothing more than a cold-blooded murderer. But it's just unfortunate nowadays. Now you can see why this is why when I was a kid, I used to always hear girls say that they could not hang around other girls because they bring nothing but drama. That's why they said they used to hang out around a lot of guys, not in the way that would make them look like a thot or a whore, but just because they vibe better with the guys rather than the women, or rather than with the girls, because they bring less drama, or they're not trying to get involved in too much drama, unlike their female who will get into a lot of drama. But rest in peace to this lady, and she had her whole life ahead of her. They said she just started a nursing program too. Life gone at the tender age of 19. So young. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.